What is going on, brothers and sisters? This is Eric Rosen, your internal strength coach, here to show you how to overcome your greatest challenges so you can shine your brightest light. It is Sunday, November 11th, 2018, and I don't have a message prepared for you guys today. The truth of it is that it's been kind of an irritating day, and I'm feeling a little bit blocked. I've had a couple of different things come to mind that I wanted to talk about. And to be honest, it really just feels like one of those days where um, I'm basically just going to riff off the top of my head or hopefully even the top of my feelings of what's going on. And who knows, maybe some nuggets will come out of it. So, what I'm feeling lately, like I said, is a sense of being irritable. And you know, there's other stuff that like comes along with it. It's like being irritable. It's like the tension in the body, um, a lot of upper back stiffness, which indicates a feeling of like I'm carrying a lot of issues, like carrying the weight of the world on my shoulders, like not feeling emotionally supported in life, like you know, I don't understand everything that's happening. So instead, I'm like trying to um, understand everything and just like it's like carrying the weight of trying to understand everything as opposed to just a feeling of what I would call a gentle surrender. Um, and really, that seems to be the theme right now. What I think needs to happen. A lot of the irritation, comes up when I have some days where I just don't feel like I'm hitting my mark in terms of manifesting, in terms of what I'm supposed to be getting done. And oddly enough, it's like it feels like the irritation is coming from not getting enough things done, but grip, wanting to control that process and grip even tighter seems like it's only going to make the issue worse. So it seems that when irritation does occur, I think is probably what this message is going to be is that it's a time to actually uh, let go a little bit more and release and surrender to the process. Um, Maybe even, take it easy as opposed to trying to push harder because the irritation, comes from being unhappy with the manifestation process. And the more irritation that occurs, it seems like the more you're trying to control the process and just not happy with kind of like what you're being given. So that's a really tough thing to do right now because it's like, well, I feel like I haven't been hitting my mark. I don't feel like I've been getting things done. So how can I sit there and fathom this idea of, you know, like taking it easy? It's like I feel like I've already been taking it easy, but in a way that I haven't. I haven't been getting things done, but then I also have not been making peace with the moments that I've been in where I'm not getting things done. So I'll be honest, like I'm not the type of person that can just like lay by the proverbial pool and just like take it easy. Like I'm not the world's like best vacationer. I have to be pretty deliberate and usually takes me a few days to like unwind. So, um, just the fact that this, irritation, it comes up and it comes up, you know, periodically. And again, it's just the lesson that keeps coming up again and again until I continue to integrate like making the different choice and mastering this lesson, which is there are levels of time and that there are just times when things just don't feel like they're getting done or you know I feel like I'm spending like a lot of extra time um, putting emphasis into my relationships this week. Like I feel like I've had a couple of relationships that have just been um, time consuming in terms of just time and energy. And because I'm like wanting to go and manifest, it's even more irritating when I feel like I'm having to tend to these relationship situations and try to improve them when they are feeling strained in these moments. So um, that's another thing I'll say too is like what I'm trying to reflect on and trying to understand. And I just need to kind of let go of, maybe understanding and trying to intellectually understand it, is this concept that, you know, I understand like your internal world is, your external world, excuse me, is a reflection of your internal world. And then your externally, you're mirroring yourself in your relationships. So basically, what that means is that whatever is going on in your relationships with people, depending on like the quality of them or even the quantity, just what's going on, if it feels like, everyone's kind of, I don't want to say out to get you, but, this feeling of just being like, fuck, I just want to like, you know, go home and turn my phone off and, not bother with anybody. um, I think is an opportunity to reflect on, okay, like what is going on with me? Um, what is going on with me that's being reflected in these relationships? Perhaps these relationships feel, irritated because I'm irritated because I'm not happy with what it is that I'm manifesting, what I'm getting done. So um, I guess that's a couple of things to think about. Is one, the next time you're feeling irritated, ask yourself, what is it that is really bothering you? Because a lot of times it's not even what the thing that set you off is, or like whatever the current situation is that's irritating you. A lot of times that's just kind of like the weed sticking out of the ground. A lot of times there's a root down that's deeper than that. There's a root cause to why you're feeling irritated. So, you know, stopping and becoming aware and asking yourself, what is it that's bugging me right now? Um, in fact, as I'm just sitting here reflecting on mine, me not being happy with what I'm manifesting is kind of a reflection that I'm not making the manifestation process what it was intended to be, which is playful, because I'm attaching value to making things happen, as in I need to add value to myself to feel whole, when the idea is actually you already want to feel whole, that you already are a whole person, that you don't need anything externally to complete yourself, that you have all the tools inside that you need. So perhaps, it is just, in fact, I had a sign come to me yesterday that now that I think about it, that it is a call to, work on what's going on internally and reflect more on that as opposed to worrying about the external. So just to recap that, I'm irritated because I feel like I'm not manifesting what I want to manifest, but really I should be okay with whatever is going on and at peace with that because I'm already whole. And so it's an aspect of like, okay, as opposed to actually going out here and wanting to make shit happen, I actually need to journey inward. And really, that's what this whole thing is about anyway, is in terms of your purpose. I'm going to talk more about this later, but people are always trying to manifest externally, find their purpose. The purpose is actually the inward work, the soul work. And it's like once you start to cultivate and work on that, you'd be amazed at how things will start manifesting in your life in terms of giving you this kind of yellow brick road, if you will, to just this awesome place. I will tell you that I know this for a fact. If you, and this is like one of the deepest lessons that I'm learning in this life, and why, I'm navigating this and it seems tricky, is because people that only want to manifest externally and not do any of the internal work, the shadow work, those are the ones that end up the most unhappy. These are the people that you hear about that have tons of money, they manifest it, but they're fucking miserable. This is why you hear about CEOs, committing suicide and all these things, or, families that, are making great wealth, but they're having affairs, or, just whatever kind of weird stuff is going on, like underneath the radar in the family, is because if you can go and you can manifest and you can make all kinds of shit happen, you can have the money, you can have the life that you want to live, but it is a feeling of feeling like, you know, your soul got eaten up in the process because you didn't journey in and do any of the inward stuff that ultimately is what you need to access to find out, you know, what your truth is, what your definition of happiness is. So, yeah. And you know, then I just threw the other thing in there about reflection of relationships. That's a whole nother can of worms. But as far as an action item there, I would just say that the next time um, your relationships feel estranged, to just stop and reflect on yourself. Just like if you're irritated with something that's going on in your life, or you're seeing irritation in a relationship, always reflect that back to yourself and find out, and go inward and find out what is going on with you. You know, what is it that is eating away at you? Guys, I can't I can't stress this. It's so funny. It's like this, doing this video here was like one of those ones where like I just got to show up. You know, like I'm not feeling the best about the subject, the message, you know, like any of it, but it's like, you know what? I'm just going to show up, and lo and behold, I feel like this, you know, is actually turning out to not only be answering questions for myself about what's going on, but just starting out, not even like knowing where it's going to go. It ends up in this actually beautiful place where ultimately the message is that what matters most is this inward soul journey, this journey where you go in and you address the self-worth blocks, you address the self-love blocks, because it is true, you do need to love yourself in order to be able to love fully outside of yourself. It's the place that has these voids that we try to fill with nonsense, you know, with food, with drug, with bad relationships, with money, just all types of distractions, you know, just cover-ups, just temporary fixes, band-aids. It's this place that it's like this inner child that's like crying, like it's crying for attention and care, and it's something that you didn't get as you were growing up. And it's not to say that those wasn't the way that it was supposed to be. I mean, that's how you learn to survive. That's how you learn to get by in the world. That's how you learn to, you know, cope with the challenges of growing up, you know, in whatever age you're at, whatever time period you've grown up in. But it's like you get to a point in your adult life where it's like, okay, now it's time to go in and take a look at what happened and see what is it that you need to work on, and knowing that stuff is actually it's actually treasure. You know, that stuff was put there for you to work through, so that, you know, that you could work through that stuff so you could have an even, you know, greater, happier life. That's the place to look. I know it is. So anyways, that's what I got for you guys today. Yeah. Eric Rosen Coaches at gmail.com is my email. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on YouTube, and of course the website. You know, appreciate you guys, you know, watching this video, stopping by, you know, the people that watch on a regular basis. I truly appreciate it. You know, honestly, even if there's only one person that gets tremendous value out of this, like a week, like one person, that's enough right now, to be honest. These videos are evolving. My experiences, you know, and the things I'm learning and as I'm integrating them in my life, and then I'm sharing that stuff's all evolving. And this whole idea that I thought originally, whenever I first knew that I wanted to do video, that I was going to show up and everything was going to be perfect and polished. You know, just how ridiculous that idea was. But just knowing that a lot of it is honestly just showing up and being and speaking your truth. So I hope you guys appreciate that. You guys take care, and I will catch you tomorrow.